Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Timeless Broadcast Project. We've got Ex Oblivione versus Triple Esports, and this is another matchup that Ex Oblivione should come out on top of. We talked about that prior in that previous series that we saw, and they didn't come out with a clean 3-0. They won in 3 and 4. But right now, this is again a matchup Ex Oblivione should come out on top of.
Yeah, I mean, if we just look at the standings, that's the kind of story that you get. Ex Oblivione, they're joint second there with Oh Yeah. So they're still in second place, but it's still contested by another team, and that's the team that actually beat them. Meanwhile, Triple Esports are coming off a to the wall 5 map series against who's their team? Oh,
I'm
it's
looking
left my mind.
right now. SRP check.
SRP Check. I knew that. I knew that. And SRP Check actually beat them 3-2 there. So they're coming off of a pretty tough loss. But yeah, they're middle of the pack, right, compared to Ex Oblivione, where that's what we expect. You're expecting Ex Oblivione to do well. However, they did just lose a map to a team where we also said same thing. So are Ex Oblivione going to be consistent now that they've warmed up, or is there going to be still that weakness in the armor?
Well, let's take a look at these rosters here, Gio. Well, because if you're or just joining us for Ex Oblivione, we've got Chase Torch, Vestola, Cookie, Mamone, Psycho, Crispy, Canal, and Sky.
Yes, and Triple Esports are coming with also 2 tanks, so they've got that flexibility there, but much more on the DPS lineup than on the supports. So One and Ange will be the only core supports there for Triple Esports. Well, we've seen Ex Oblivione, they've been playing with different types of compositions with their support line, even on Twitter, stating that the double flex support was absolute cinema. And honestly, I can't contest that.
Yeah, so this should be another banger of a series, though. Don and Sharp from with Overwatch League reps as well as Vestola and Sky. So we've got some Overwatch League veterans in the rosters today, and let's hope that they both can show out for both of their teams here. But we do have our map, and it'll be interesting to see what these two teams decide to run with to start things off, because we are heading to Antarctic Peninsula. And before this broadcast project started, I would have said it was a brawl haven for both these two teams. But with Winston being so prevalent, I've seen teams opting to go over to Winston on this map.
Yeah, and we'll very quickly understand what Exo do, whether it's Chase or Vistola. Vistola being that more off-tank and Ramatra player, where Chase has been more the Reinhardt and, as you said, predominantly the Winston plays. However, it was the Winston play that we saw them struggle against in Busan against where Play were playing a very classic Overwatch brawl composition with Reinhardt, Cassidy, and May. Now, as we head into Antarctic Peninsula, obviously we ain't against Play anymore. It's going to be Triple Esports, who are very warmed up because they just came from a 5-map series, and we'll get to understand what flavor they'll bring to Antarctic Peninsula very shortly.
We shall see. We shall see indeed. Are we going to see more of Ex Oblivione's dominance with that DPS line, which was just so incredible after that shaky first round map of Busan? After that, they just were unstoppable, and that's going to be the key thing that I'm looking for here. We saw that the tank roll was pretty. It was still good. It just was not on the same sides as the DPS, and that's going to be really hard for the side of Triple Esports to contain.
The last time these teams met each other was in the lower bracket final of the Spring Series, and Ex Oblivion eliminated Triple Esports from the Spring Series. That's where EXO were able to end second, and of course that means EXO were Triple were third. So might there be a little element of wanting revenge against Oblivione for eliminating them in the Spring Series? Will they be coming out here with vengeance on the mind, essentially? That's the idea. Where, EXO, they're still looking to get as clean wins as they can to cement themselves in that second place spot and not share it with anyone else.
Yeah, they're definitely looking to get that, and I feel like at the moment it really is that battle for second place in the group stage, with Twisted Minds just being that dominant force, only dropping one map throughout the Contenders Summer Series so far, with it just between Yeah and Ex Oblivione to really figure out who's going to come in second at the moment.
Well, these players really giving us the tease right now. we've been at the edge of our seats waiting for Antarctic Peninsula to be locked in for a while now, as they just get prepared, right. Triple Esports, they may be a little bit more warmed up than EXO, because EXO's had to wait a lot longer during that time. Not saying that they haven't been warming up in the practice range or in Vaxta or wherever these players like to warm up, but we saw EXO just get better every map that we saw them against the opponents of play. Is that going to be the same? Are we just going to see them even better than the last time we saw them in the map, or are they going to have to start again and get the ball rolling up that hill?
Yeah, that's a good question. They have been kind of just looking around. Obviously, they've been still keeping things going, trying to keep their aim and skills heightened. But yeah, like you said, Triple Esports is just coming in off a 5-map series. They should be raring to go. Getting back to that 500 level is so huge for them. They don't really want to flirt with that relegation or going back to the open division qualifiers. And that's kind of where they're at right now. If they lose this, they could be brought down to that lower fourth, and no one wants to be flirting with that even this early.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be in the red. That's where you want to avoid, Ryan. The teams down there, they're scrappy, but that position is tough to come back from. And of course you want to be in the green. You want to be in the top 8. You don't want to be out without a chance when it comes to the playoffs. So Triple Esports, they're going to try and obviously get the win, get the revenge, but if EXO are going to continue playing at this level, it's more about what maps Triple Esports are likely to sneak away from Ex Oblivione to help them in their own map differential for their own standings.
And again, it is about winning these. Like I said, this should be a win for Ex Oblivione, and that's because they're in the top 4. They're top 4 team in the contenders right now, and you always want to be able to beat the people below you. You don't want to show signs of weakness this early or show signs of losing in any way. It looks like we are finally gonna be getting ready to go into this first map here.
Yes, the initial tease is over. This is the real thing, and there we go. Heading right into the map. Already, we can see that EXO are bringing out Vistola instead of Chase, so we can probably expect either the slower Diva poke kind of composition or that very dominant rematch composition that we saw come from Ex Oblivione, where it was Cookie on the Sombra and Maimon on the Echo. Kind of teasing to swap that around, but I imagine that's not going to be what they come out with. But then again, you never know. Again, experimenting with the support line. On the other side, it's going to be IMO starting on the tank line here, going for that, like I said, Diva slow kind of poke. I imagine that Sharp will be swapping onto probably either the Sombra or the Tracer. More likely the Sombra to get those scouts and hack setups. No, it is going to be the Tracer. So Looking to set up with IMO, trying to get those off angles. Oblivione, they need to find what angle that they need to attack and then just go hard into it.
As they're going to look to come through Mamone on the Sombra here, which was something that I was not expecting to see. We'll see how it works out, as Cookie was so good on that hero in the previous series. But when it duty calls for Mamode to bring it up here with a nice anti-nade coming in from one, trying to force Vestola back for the time being, but it is IMO super low away from their team. Gonna get that healing there, but they still got to figure it out as Mamone's so low, but they get the DMAC onto IMO. Now things are gonna be going towards the favor of Oblivione to start things off. The Sleep Dart does come through, but it's not going to lead to a Vestola death as Oblivione start off strong.
Yeah, IMO was just the center of attention there. Oblivione constantly scouting where they are, getting the hacks onto them and just bursting that mech down. Basically, meaning that Triple Esports, there was no space for Sharp or Turkey to get anything done there against Oblivione, and very shortly, Maimon will have this EMP.
Yeah, as they now come through with this first off, the nice anti-nade does come through yet again from one, as Triple Esports have all the ultimates they really need in the world to come back into this. They've already used both support ultimates, though, to really no avail. They have not found any picks here, Gio. Now, finally, the picks come through as the caster curse is real. Vestola does find one in response to the Annihilation being used as well to try to keep things going. They get the DMAC, but Turkey in the sky continuing to hold strong as Triple Esports are able to, well, not just yet, now, finally getting the capture percentage in their favor.
It wasn't clean, it wasn't quick, but in the end they got it, and they still have these DPS ultimates to try and prolong their control of the point. However, this EMP is going to be the go signal for EXO onto the point, forcing away Triple Esports.
Well, they come in early on. The EMP does come through from Mamone, and it looks to be working out well for Oblivione. They've got the copy, though, from Triple Esports. Turkey trying to build up to a self-destruct of their own, but they're taken out of Mac quite quickly, and Oblivione are able to get this point quickly back into their favor.
And I do respect that EXO are experimenting with their DPS line. You're now having Maimon on the Echo, the Sombra instead of the Echo, and Cookie on, that hit scan card that we know that they're very good with, like the Ashe now getting to play the Cassidy. Triple Esports are going to be looking to build this Nano, and they need to do it fast because it's 90% control for EXO.
As now they come through here to look, get things underway. They've got the self-destruct from IMO to really open things up. The overtime bar, though, ticking away. They've got to start it off. Sharp did use that pulse bomb, but to no avail yet again. The nano boost now coming through, but it's going to be come back with the sound barrier from Crispy here to keep things, keep Oblivione up and healthy. The self-destruct coming through after that DMAC coming in. As another one coming in from Vestola as well. Sharp has found Sky, though. They don't have that amp matrix any longer, and that might be the opening that they need unless people go down here. IMO's found out Cookie. The flip does come through to Triple Esports, but that just might buy them a little bit more time, as it's going to be flipped quickly back to Oblivione.
Yes, and if they even retouch here, they're going to be pushing into a lot of ults coming up, particularly Sky with the window. EMP comes out, pretty much secured at this point as the overtime ticks away, and EXO secure the first point here. And they're looking good, they're looking spry. The adaptation onto the D.Va there, when they realized that that pocketed Echo was dealing too much damage, it basically meant that you have that D.Va Matrix to deal with that spam and eat those sticky nades, basically, in a lot of those instances. Now switching back to the Ramatra as we head to the second map, and I'm liking how Maimon is still showing that they can play that Sombra, and keep up with the EMP rate, as per usual. Cookie is just getting so much done against Triple Esports. Now they're kind of adapting. They're going to go for the Mei on their side, and that's going to be the key difference in the support in the DPS lineup. I mean, because if you're able to isolate Vistola, then that's going to really give you an advantage in these fights when they get to the brawl stage.
Well, IMO's hacked up to start it off for Triple Esports as they've gone to the Ramatra here and now for Icebreaker as they rotate around, wrapping around, and now they clumb through, looking to get anything to start off. The Maywell comes through from Sharp, trying to lock up Vestola. Still alive, though, still getting that healing from Oblivione to keep them alive from Sky specifically. But another nice Maywell. Vestola so low, but the healing is there. Just, oh my goodness, the way that they're able to keep Vestola alive and then find all the picks they need in the world. They did lose out that first capture percentage, but it's quickly flipped back to Oblivione.
Yeah, if you're able to withstand when the wall comes up and break it down, you do have a bit of that advantage. You just have to watch the turkey doesn't get too much done on the Sojourn, as of course you can get that damage from the back with the Sombra. And Maimon has been getting a lot of it already at 90%. And the EMP probably going to come out here in this fight to secure it fast.
Yeah, as Vestola has this Annihilation on board, as well as the EMP coming in, and that's just gonna be utter annihilation coming in. Oblivione just lighting up the kill feed right there.
Maybe with a little bit too much fuel, you know, you used 3 ults there where, I mean, just 2 of them would have been enough, but now you only have this High Noon as an offensive ultimate when Triple Esports, they're going to come in here with this mail, with the Annihilation of their own very shortly, and be able to really take hold of this point by force.
Just going to be off the back of Crispy to try to mitigate as much damage as they possibly can with their sound barrier. They cannot be afford to use it early on, as there comes the Deadeye coming out. Now the ultimates are coming through. The Blizzard comes through, and Sharp's the one to go down early on. But now they've lost a couple more in response. But it still seems like that Oblivione have the opportunity to hold on. But the point does get flipped. But Mamon and Sky are still finding picks. This is just how does this happen? No, there's just no way, Gio, that Oblivione still are able to hold on to this fight.
Crispy and Maimon were just absolute devils in the backline, getting those sneaky plays, utilizing their movement abilities perfectly. 90% of control, and it's panic mode for Triple Esports. We're going to have to get this quick touch and utilize both their aggressive ultimates here of the Annihilation, of this Overclock. But Maimon, they're so close to EMP.
Yeah, they've got this EMP almost available, and we saw how, oh my, Cookie coming in, but we saw how much the EMP did wonders, and now they've already used it, and it's working wonders yet again. The overtime bar ticking away. Oblivione, take map number 1.
Beautiful stuff there, and I mean, a lot of that was Crispy and Maimon just getting work done in that chaotic fight where Triple Esports were, able to flip the board, but it just wasn't enough. And Oblivione, they're not going to falter at the first step anymore. They're coming out seeking the heat like a missile. Already 1-0 in this series for EXO.
They're really good here. No rust to shake off so far for Oblivione, and then Triple Esports. They did show some signs of life there, but we also have to think about the fact that map 5 could have just mentally boomed them for the day. That is always something that has to be in the back of your mind. Like, oh, we could have won that. We brought it to a map 5, then we ended up losing. Yeah. So it's got to be definitely difficult for Triple Esports right now to reset their mentals into this next series, because, well, it is a fresh one. You can there's still time to change things around. There's still at least 2 more maps here, and then 3 if they want to pull the upset in this series.
Yeah,
And
you're absolutely right. Sorry to cut you off, but as casters, I feel like we really focus a lot on, of course, analyzing the specific game and the E part of the esports, but it's also still sports, right? There is still a physicality to it in terms of keeping your energy up. And when you go through a 5 map series, you can really adrenaline dump in that situation. And then, you realize there's a second map to come. That physicality of esports still comes into play, right? You do need to be aware that you're not using that adrenaline fuel all in one match and when you have another one to come.
yeah, definitely. As we are coming in yet again, we don't have our next map, but we have hybrid coming in for us, and it is Eichenwald, Midtown, or Numbani. We saw Numbani previously. Oh well, we do have our map choice coming in, and we are going to Numbani yet again here.
Yep, Numbani. We saw that they like to play the pocket, and when I say they, I mean Triple Esports. The pocket on the Echo. So it kind of plays into their style. Perhaps will we see the Diva still get the play, or will we swap now onto the Monkey? EXO, they had a tremendous showcase on Numbani in their last series, where they ended with 4 minutes in the time bank. I believe it was 4 minutes 30, or just about, which is nuts. That is not normally. So EXO, they're warmed up on Numbani, and we know what they're going to play. Vistola's going to stay in likely, and play that Diva in the defense, and really play into Cookie on that Ashe, who was just winning those duels against Io in the previous match. Now it's going to be difficult to really nullify what Cookie can get done. And if you focus too much on Cookie, then there's Maimon dealing damage. It's like this roster is so stacked on EXO. It just makes me excited every time I start talking about it.
Yeah. We do have a swap, though, coming in for Triple Esports. Don is coming in for Mo, so clearly they are opting to go more towards a Winston-based composition here, Gio.
Okay, I am definitely of the opinion that the Winston comp, if the Winston and the Diva compositions are played perfectly, I do think the Winston comp's better, just because of the speed of Winston's engages compared to that of Diva. She's very slow with her boosters. Her momentum, not momentum, her movement is slower than that of Winston's, and you can really control all of the space and really force trades as Winston, where Diva, again, prefers the slower playstyle, prefers to go for the poke. So if we keep seeing Vistola in, then it's going to be a real showcase of what that speedy, quick dive Winston can do versus that slower poke and peel composition of the Diva can do.
Yeah, and well, it looks like Vastola is going to be staying in here, and we'll see that the difference in ideology, the difference in team composition, and maybe we find out that the Diva composition is just better than the Winston comp, and maybe Oblivione are setting the meta here and now.
And coming out, Dan gonna be showing why they are the story player that they are, why they've reached the heights that they have in Overwatch and playing tank there. Now, they're going for the pocket of the Mercy as well for both sides here. Triple Esports, they did have the option, of course, going for that Brigida for a very sturdy backline, but I think they are aware of Vistola going Diva, so they're just going to play into enhancing the damage there of the Ashe or the Echo. They do have to watch, though, that the Diva is a very good character at poking at that Mercy and forcing them into making mistakes with just that constant barrage of the fusions. And here's EXO again looking to take control of this high ground that they, once they cement themselves there, they pretty much secure the point.
Yeah. Don had started off the map with a little nap coming in from Sky. already. So that was very cool to see coming in. As speaking of which, Sky gonna be super low. The nice dynamite came in from Sharp, taking down the back line already of Oblivione. Then I have to force out a reset.
Yeah, it's a great place for the dynamite there, and Stola's mech goes down. Did it? No, it didn't. I think 5 HP at the end. They go around the corner. That was so close to being a disaster for EXO. But now they get this re-engage. Maymon's done so much damage that they already have the duplicate ready. But to be fair, so does Turkey.
It is going to be, who are they going to figure out who to copy here? Are they going to go for the Ana, or are they going to go for the Winston? And as they come in, there's the Ana copy coming in, but Maimon is blown up immediately. But speaking of which, Don follows quickly afterwards, and that's just going to open up the point for Oblivione. They are going to have a chance to retouch as the copy does come through onto the Diva from Turkey, but they are getting blown up as well, and one goes quickly afterwards, as that should be this point going into the favor of them, but maybe not. The kill onto Maimon, the res onto one. If they can find more with the nano boost coming in, they're forcing now back Oblivione. The self-destruct does come through from Vestola, and that's just going to be bubbled up and held on yet again. Triple Esports still holding strong on this point.
Intelligent re-engage, particularly with that copy onto the Diva, gave them so much extra time for Dan to come back, and that res from Ange onto one allowed the nano onto Dan, which really secured the re-engage. EXO now, they're going to be coming back, they're going to have this Valkyrie to help push them, but Sharp will be able to contest the point with Bob in this upcoming fight.
Cookie also going to have the Bob available in a little bit later of the fight, but the Sleep Dart comes in onto Don, who has used that Primal Rage, but is super low thanks to the anti-nade of Sky yet again, with the Bob coming through from both of the Ashes, but it is still all Oblivione coming out on top as they dealt quickly with Sharp's Bob and are able to unlock the point.
Yes, and a lot of that was just, bursting down the Bob there, and then that was a very quick capture. 3 minutes, it's still a decent time bank, and if they're able to keep control of this forward area of point 2, which they're doing, then they'll be in good motion. Dan has swapped now to the Junker Queen, which is going to be good if the fight is forced onto the point, but if it's all about the high ground control, which it very easily can be in this point, then that might be a little bit of an itchy trigger finger on swapping to a brawl-based character.
Got to figure it out here. That swap onto the Junker Queen could be all the difference that Triple Esports need. They are going to get that healing up there after almost going down. Don's still alive, but Turkey no longer, as this is looking like Thanksgiving for Triple Esports right now. No more Turkey on the board, as this is still looking good. Oblivione are able to capture point number 2.
Yeah, and they just kept that momentum going. They saw that adaptation onto the Junker Queen and just avoided it, and even copied it, rolling into third point. Now the Junker Queen is going to have a bit of a better time. There's less high ground for the likes of Cookie to take control of and get away from Dan. So Dan can really force those engages now into their favor, where they can self-sustain. Just have to watch for those anti-nades there from Sky.
Yeah, Sky has just been on point with these anti-nades so far, but they've got to be careful as Turkey comes in with that sticky bombs, takes Crispy out. The self-destruct does not find anyone, as Turkey still finding picks with these sticky bombs for Triple Esports. The copy did come through from Turkey as well, forcing back Oblivione for the time being.
Yes, and that's what they need to get control of the momentum and give themselves time to set up on the defense. And, well, now they have to be careful. Sky does have the nano. It's going to be probably onto Maimon there, just to grease the DPS there. Another anti-nade there onto Dan isn't followed up on. Dan is going to have the Rampage ready, and there isn't anything to cleanse it. So if it gets a lot of value, then it can very much easily be followed up on.
is going to be the thing to start things off as Mamone comes in, gets that follow-up damage on to one. Vestola super low, gonna get the res there onto Don, get them back into the fight. They desperately need it as there comes the Rampage out, and they find a couple of people with it as Mamone and Crispy no longer there. They still have to find out a couple more players, but I think it looks like yet again Triple Esports are able to hold on for the time being.
Yeah, and a lot of that was actually that resurrection again from Andrews, really finding them in those key moments. Cookie very close to getting taken out there, and you know, Dan was able then to use the Rampage. Oblivione, they're going to be walking back still with this Nano now with the duplicate, and again it's probably now likely to go on to Dan and get themselves a Junker Queen of their own.
Sharp does get the bomb out after falling falling. Now Mamone using their copy onto their own Junker Queen, but it is just going to be blown up. Sharp's aim is true, and that is just going to be another hold yet again for Triple Esports.
You know, and it's a little late in the juncture to ask, but at this point, you know, swapping your composition to a more brawl style, like, well, they now have, is probably what would have been best. It's maybe come a little late with 1 minute remaining. They're now lacking a lot of those key ultimates, but with the Bob coming up and the fact that they still have this Nano, they can put that into Vestola and give them that aid that they need to duel out Dan on the point and get the space needed for the DPS.
Yeah, they desperately need this Annihilation up here and now, as they're going to put the Nano Boost, though, onto Mamone. That might not be the thing that you're looking for, with the rally now coming through in response, and Sky's anti-nades continuing to do so much work, as Don goes down right before they can build up to their own Rampage, as finally Oblivione opens things up.
Now, Vestola was definitely looking to build this Rampage, Annihilation as soon as they can. Dan is going to have their Rampage much sooner, though. Oh, there's not even a touch.
Definitely winnable for Triple Esports there, Gio.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Maybe
a C9 in Contenders, oh no.
Oh no, we don't like to see it, but it happens. And, you know, crucially, that means EXO finished with time in the bank. Even a contest, and if EXO still won, it would have got them to 0 seconds. And for hybrid, that's important if you're talking about extra rounds.
Yep.
So the fact that they snuck in those 8 seconds, brilliant. They're happy enough with that. But Triple didn't quite get what they wanted. But now we're going to see them on their own attack. And this is going to be where we really explore why Numbani was chosen, you know, trusting in Dan to be that spearhead of the team with that Winston as we head into their now attack round. Of course, Oblivione going for Vestola on the Diva. Like I said, a much slower pace here. So you're likely to see Triple Esports, you know, build that Nano quite quickly with Dan, you know, peeking for it, looking for opportunities. But if those stickies land from Turkey, then Dan is likely to be right there following up on that damage and securing that space. This could very well be Triple Esports to make up for that small mistake there on their defense.
Yeah, and then again, we get to see the full difference. It is a full mirror matchup between both these two teams, besides the tank role here, and that could be the difference. And we're already seeing the tank metal coming in, but Don's able to get away. Those sticky bombs continuing to just be so much damage onto these squishy heroes of Oblivione with a nice dynamite. Yeah, again, both these Ashes have been clinical with these dynamite strikes, as still waiting things out. The dive finally coming in. Don trying to get in there, but Sky is going to get that nice anti-nade, and Don's so low, but the healing still able to get their one, keeping them alive for the time being is massive. They don't want to lose out just yet, but now they have to give up this point positioning. But if they can just take away, no, Sharp, okay, Sharp does go down, and if Vestola could not have gotten that, that might have been very worrisome for Oblivione, but they're going to be able to build up this nano boost now and hold on. Don still trying, though, to keep things going, but they are going to be blown up in the end by the sticky bombs.
Vistola completely juked the peel there, went in deep, found Sharp. The res was there, but the peel came back to take care of Vistola. Vistola flew away and got away completely scot-free. And the fact that Dan went back left Turkey completely alone on point and allowed EXO to get back into that one. Beautiful stuff from Vistola.
Beautiful stuff indeed, and they all have these 4 ultimates available now. The copy does come through onto the Ana and the Diva respectively, and Turkey's going to be taken out of their mech already, so that it's not looking like they are going to be able to use much of this, and that's the huge thing. Mamona able to build up to their own nano boost to get onto Vestola. They do get blown up immediately, but they have that self-destruct to use quickly to get back into their mech. Sharp's Bob not gonna find any value as they do go down. Both Bobs are getting blown up immediately as Triple Esports still looking to win this out. The Primal Rage has been used, the Res as well, getting Turkey back in this fight and getting some capture percentage here.
There may be a retouch, yeah, they're looking for it just in time. Sky is going to nano now.
Oh, and it's going to get Turkey out of the fight, and that's going to force people back. Sharp is super low and going to go down to Vestola as well. The nano boost is there onto Don to try to turn it back, and they are going to get him awake, but they are going to go down thanks to Mamone yet again, well, with the help of the rest of the team, if you look at that assist bar.
Yes, 48 seconds remaining, and we're kind of low on resources here for Triple Esports. You're looking to build another nano to really secure it, but Oblivione, they're going to have this duplicate very shortly, and Vistola's going to have the ability to get that extra life with the mech.
Yeah, that self-destruct is going to be huge to help keep people away, but, well, Don's already out of this fight, and there comes the copy, but, well, Mamone blown up yet again before they can really get the value that they were hoping for, as now things are looking a little bit more rough for Oblivione. They have lost Sky, but the rally is there, keeping everyone up and healthy thanks to Crispy, and that should be all they need in the end. The overtime bar, the self-destruct and celebration. Oblivione are up 2-0 in the series.
Yes, they are, and they hold in strong, not letting that first tick come through. Oblivione looking amazing. Vistola's movement there on tank completely controlled the backline of Triple Esports, and then the frontline of Triple Esports struggled because Crispy was just on point of keeping everyone alive and being that bodyguard of the Brigida. It's why you choose to go for that over the Mercy. You just keep your own Ana alive and just basically you don't let the enemy have fun. That's the idea of the Brigida.
This is yeah, they're not letting Triple Esports have fun right now. We saw some again, some signs of hope for them in their defending phase. They were able to stall out Oblivione on point 3 specifically. But again, that defensive hold that we've seen from this series and the previous series is just so outmatched for both of these two teams so far. And now we head into the push game, or not the push game mode, the escort game mode. You've got to figure out a way to make Oblivione uncomfortable, and that might be forcing them back to that Winston-based composition.
Yeah, and in that case, you're probably thinking, your Gibraltar or your Route 66 I mean, even with Gibraltar, you can still get the Diva playstyle
Mhm.
right. Same with Dorado. Route 66 is probably the one where the Winston competition probably wins the most just because of how much open air there is and how quick the Winston is compared to the Diva. So I wouldn't be shocked if it is Route 66 that they choose. But so far, EXO, they are on a journey to get their clean win here, which is what they need. Not losing a map is going to help them hold on to that second spot and not share it with anyone, right? Because currently they're sharing it with, oh yeah, the only team that has beaten them so far in the Summer Series.
Yeah, so like you said, it would make sense Route 66, but we'll have to see. I mean, we're not contenders coaches for a reason. We don't know it specifically to the T that they do. But I do like your sound logic there with Route 66 being the way it is. Like you said, Washpoint, you can still run Diva. You can still run Diva on Dorado as well, and Circuit. I would expect that to be the choice, but we'll have to wait and see from these two squads as it is still triple esports map pick.
Yes. Yeah, there's a reason why we're in the caster booth, not the coaching booth. But the best we can do, is just kind of examine what has really, happened here. And so far, that Winston comp of Triple Esports has just struggled, and part of it is because Vistola has been so smart in their engages, going in deep and basically making it so that when Dan goes in, there's no support for Dan, and
Hmm.
Dan ends up alone and bullied and probably upset. But that's the tank life. And that you're now thinking, do we try something different? Do we go for a rematch composition? Do we, try and try our brawl, because that worked against Oblivione just a couple maps ago in the last match against them, where Play were able to beat them on Busan. But again, when we talk about Escort, there really isn't any brawl Escort maps in this map pool, so that kind of idea's out of the window.
The only like we saw Circuit was played in more of a brawl-esque manner. In the previous series, I mean, Dorado can be also used as a brawl-ish map, but you'd still prefer to have Winston if you were going to run that style rush or brawl-esque type of composition.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it could be that, in that instance, we might see Chase come back for Ex Oblivione, where they can play the Reinhardt and then they can play the Monkey. They can play both those um, characters. But it is Dorado. We will be going to, as I hear the beautiful tunes in the distance. And yeah, now you're thinking, are they going to go for that kind of brawl? Like you said, there's a kind of May composition where you can contest the point from the inside of that initial room
Hmm.
and really just chunk that time bank down, and you give yourself another fight on the board. The issue that people have with that composition is, when you play it passively, you're basically sitting there. Yeah, you're draining time bank, but you're also a massive battery, and they're just all charging their ultimates off of you. Especially if they have a Pharah. Pharah's the best kind of character
Yeah.
to clear that zone, and especially get that barrage within like mere moments because of all the burst damage getting done.
Yeah, as we do have another swap coming in though from Triple Esports. IMO coming back in, so we might be just going back to this Diva matchups here, or are we going to see Ramatra, Sigma, something else from the tank line of Triple Esports now?
Yeah, we'll find out shortly, but with at least Ex Oblivione, Vistola's, the Diva player and Ramaja player. Perhaps that's the same for IMO. And with 16 seconds, we will get into it shortly. But for now, Triple Esports, they need to come up with something. It's match point. And if they want to be taking a map from EXO, it needs to start now, or Oblivione will get that clean win that they need and repeat the last time that these two teams met. That was in that lower bracket final in the spring series where EXO 3-0'd Triple Esports. Will it be a repeat? And Triple Esports, well, they're not on the Brawl, they're on the Diva, so you are right, Jokers. It is going to be IMO coming in, playing that slower composition. But again, with this Tracer, allows you some more more far and deep kind of different angles to kind of poke and prod at Oblivion.
Yeah, as they are now looking to start things out here. Well, I'm not going to start anything out here. They have a pause coming in from Triple Esports.
Yep, a little bit of tech issues. Good thing that the match didn't get started. That's the key thing. So there's no competitive integrity questions. But yeah, that's going to happen when things aren't in line. And I think I saw Oblivione kind of teasing going for maybe a TP Widowmaker spot, which would be funky and is something you used to see. I remember, Super doing it, but it was with Roadhog, not with Widowmaker, and going for a hook. But that's the sort of thing where you do that, you get an elimination, then you back up quickly.
Yeah, now we just gotta wait to see if it's only a problem with the like a input like a peripherals problem, or is it a lag problem? Because hopefully, I mean, obviously, like you said, the map hasn't started yet, so if it's a lag problem, not as prevalent as to would be if they disconnected in the middle of a series, but still, it's not the best time, especially when things aren't going your way. You want to get back into the series.
Yeah. And we'll be back in as soon as the players get things sorted on their end. It's important that they feel comfortable. Competitive integrity is the most important thing when it comes to this level of play. These players are here to prove themselves as the present and future of Overwatch Esports. So we don't want any questions about technical issues getting in the way of that story for them.
Definitely. And well, we are still waiting for any confirmation about what happened or when we're going in. But I think we are just going to throw it. Oh no, maybe not. We're not going to throw it to a break. We're going to be back in soon, so we don't need to throw it to a break just yet, Gio.
Yes, no, yeah. Any moment, Dorado will be getting underway, and of course, these players have decided to restart the map. It's probably the best call. So, and it was at the beginning of the map, so there's really no question of integrity there. So we do know IMO going to be coming out with the Diva composition, and what Sharp allows is, like I said, that deeper kind of further in off angle. It means they can coordinate with IMO and even go for some aggressive plays. It will mean that Sky on the Ana for Oblivione could be in trouble if Crispy goes for the Mercy over the Brigida. But if Crispy stays with the Brigida as is, then Sharp and IMO are going to have issues being aggressive, and they're going to have to play a little bit more passive around the fact that Crispy is just going to be there to protect Sky. Cookie is going to open up with the Widow. Let's see if they get that opening pick that they want.
Yeah, I was so excited to. Okay, yeah, they get the that first. Oh, okay, another one comes in. Both of that pocket echo comp now gone out of the fight. I was gonna say I was very excited to see the soldier that Cookie was hovering over, but hey, I'm just as excited to see Cookie on the Widowmaker if they're continuing to dominate this hard in the lobby so far. That's just gonna open things up immediately and get them through this underpass.
Yeah, they've proven to their team that they're worthy of staying on the Widowmaker as well, so they haven't yet swapped, and that's an issue for Turkey, that's an issue for Ant. You need to be careful that they're not just sniped out of the air.
as Cookie is kind of on the run a little bit, but I mean, you can still, yeah, they're being hunted down by, they're hunting down like this is a nature documentary coming in. The lions stalking their prey in the wild as Cookie finally goes down in the end, and probably going to be swapping over. Yeah, Cookie's gonna go over to this Tracer here, but well, in the meanwhile, they've already lost one, and they are gonna not lose Turkey just yet. Super low, finally gonna go down Mamone on the Echo, finding that picked onto their counterpart. The re-engage does come through with the Diva and the Nano Boost, but they've already lost that mech, and Cookie picking up where they left off with on the Tracer here.
Yes, Cookie now dueling with Sharp, getting a lot done there. That duel's going to be something to really keep an eye out for the rest of the Rado, to see what Tracer can really get the better of it. And so far, it's Cookie. I mean, finding that stagger is beautiful, and that's going to help you get a good start on your push of that payload. Oblivione, Maimon is going to have this duplicate, and your Magic's going to go into the Diva. They force the Diva Bomb, actually.
Yeah, the Diva Bomb does get forced out by Amo, who did get D-Mech, trying to get back into the fight before they really lose out more percentage. 409, and it's already halfway through point number 2. Looking really good right now for Oblivione as Cookie comes in. Yeah, again, taking one out. Mamon's going to get blown up before they can really get any value with their duplicate there. The res comes through as Anja gaping one into the fray of things, needs that healing, needs that extra bit of utility as well, but it's still anyone's point now because of that. They've got to figure out who can be the next one picked.
They've practically swapped sides right now, Jokers, as you know, that high ground access is being utilized by Exo. Crispy does have this rally to be able to sustain the backline once it comes in. Nano onto Mimon.
Yeah, and the Nano Boost coming through, looking to blow someone up with those focusing beams, but it's going to be Turkey with the Sojourn taking Vestola out of mech, and they don't have the self-destruct to get back into it as quick as they were hoping for, with an Nano Boost now coming on to Turkey to try to clear things up, try to build up to this overclock here and now, but it's Mamone going down early on to 1. Still being traded around now, the overclock coming through, looking for those heads as Turkey almost losing out this point though, but it looks like Triple Esports are able to stabilize very close to the end.
Yeah, and a lot of time went into that, so the time bank's really been drained there for EXO, which is a great position for Triple Esports to be in this match point scenario that they have themselves situated in. One needs to be careful though. Maimon very close to eliminating them, but gets back nicely. No ultimates for the defending team as of yet, but Oblivione, they're going to be pushing in with yet another duplicate on the board, and Cookie, of course, with that Pulse Bomb, searching and destroying for 1 and Ange.
They can find this Pulse Bomb stick onto that support line. That would be, oh no, they're just going to get their head taken off. Turkey with that secondary fire of the railgun, taking down Cookie out early on. The copy does come through from Mamon onto the Diva, but again, it's just dealt with quickly by Turkey's secondary fire, and they're still buying more time. They've got to figure something out here. Mamon's super low. The Pulse Bomb does come through, but it does not stick onto anyone just yet, as Oblivione still need to figure out this defensive hole, as a nice Pulse Bomb comes in from Sharp of their own to take Crispy out, who's trying to build up to this rally, as they still have opportunity though. The Nano Boost being invested onto Mamon, and Sharp does go finds South Sky, but still it's anyone's point at the moment. The self-destruct comes through, they're trying to take someone down, they get Ange out of the fight. A huge play coming in from Vestola. Now things should be on the up and up for Oblivione. Turkey goes down to a whip shot of Crispy, and that should be the point, maybe in the favor of Oblivione. There still are stallers coming out, staggers coming through, and the rally coming out, as that should finally wrap things up with Imon getting demacked.
Yeah, that fight there for Oblivione was very Rocky Balboa-esque. It wasn't about how hard they can hit, but how hard they can get hit, but keep going forward and finding those opportunities. I think nanoing Maimon was an incredible decision there from Sky and kept that team fight alive for them and reaching into this third point with 1 minute 40 on the board with the defense. Now they have another overclock and shot, and Turkey has proven that they are very keen at aiming with that railgun.
They definitely have, but well, they're already out. Sharp, though, turning the tides back quickly with a pulse bomb stick onto Sky, taking them out. The healing no longer there, just with that Brigida healing still there. The copy coming in as Cookie finds one as well. These pulse bombs have been just immense for both of these two teams, as Mamon finds out Sharp and looking to get this self-destruct online. Gonna come through. The self-destruct's coming in. Vestola's comes through as well as Imon goes down, as this is so close to the end here. Sharp on the point, looking for some picks. They get one, but Turkey and Sharp are so low here. They've got to get the healing, got to get the resources. The respawns are coming back, and it might be enough to hold on, but they need to find a pick. Does Triple Esports with a rally coming through, getting people up and healthy, getting that extra bit of armor. Still, no one's gone down, but Crispy's the one to fall first, and that should be Triple Esports holding on, and they might not have a chance for Oblivione to touch again.
Yeah, especially if Vestola losing the mech. This is a very tough position. Maimon will be able to get the touch, but the question is, will the touch be enough? As Vestola just goes down now, the likelihood is so low. Turkey getting those headshots.
Yeah, Turkey getting the headshots, the overtime bar ticking away as the Boostio onto the point. Crispy trying to do anything, but it's just not going to be possible. The self-destruct there to keep anyone away. Triple Esports hold on point 3.
Oof. This is the biggest opportunity that Triple Esports have had in this series to take a map from EXO. And this is a situation where EXO haven't been in yet against Triple Esports. They might need to dig a little deeper there. But we know they're not afraid to hold on a first point. They're not afraid to dig down deep and prove that EXO are the number 2 spot in the Summer Series so far. And, you know, the style that EXO play is really going to be benefited from the defense. We saw on the attack, particularly in point 2, those very long rotations that took them a bit too much time to set up to get what they wanted to get done, and is why they ran out of time there on third point. And a lot of that is because of how long a lot of these distances are to jump across and to actually get those dives in. But when you're in the defense, we saw Triple Esports, for example, having an easier time because you can set up with your diva and you don't need to be forcing those long distances. So EXO, they might be able to benefit from that. And in fact, they have so much faith in Cookie that they're going to be sticking to the Widowmaker. They proved themselves with the double kill at the start. Can they have that same beginning here on the defense?
Well, we shall see. Cookie going to be lining these shots up. Defensive Widowmaker so much more, more easier to get value with, just because you can take those sight lines a little bit easier They're looking for those shots to come in, but IMO trying to keep them alive with the defensive matrix. As we see there, but they're rotating around is Turkey looking to take out Cookie before they can take them out, which is kind of the name of the game. But the rotation's coming through, and they're already all way through this underpass here, which is a great place to start the hold, and that's what Oblivione is going to look to do. They're going to take this engagement here and now, and see who can get this first pick, and that's really the name of the game right now. The waiting game is employed as Cookie finally finds the shot. The res is going to be there. Vestola was not able to interrupt that in the meanwhile, but it looks like Oblivione have bought some time for themselves.
Yeah, and you can see that Maimon needs to play a little bit more careful than Turkey because of that pocket. In fact, look at this duel going all the way into second. Cookie's running for their life.
Yeah. Cookie's running for their life. They do go down, but in the meanwhile, they've lost so many other players because they invested so much into just taking Cookie out of the fight. And Oblivione are going to be able to hold on to said point for the time being because of it.
See, this is why your parents told you to never sneak cookies out the cookie jar. It doesn't go well for you, but Turkey keeps their hand in it nonetheless.
Yeah, Cookie's gonna have to swap off here. It does not. Yeah, they're gonna use their ultimate and then swap probably whenever they can get another chance. But in the meanwhile, yeah, and Oblivione and the secondary front of the operation are gonna continue to find out good value. The rally has come through. They do take Mamon out of their copy, but they've already lost a couple of players though. This duplicate coming in on to Sky of their own to try to build up to their own nano boost here for the time being. But one of the self-destruct's almost available from Vestola, but the nano boost goes on to IMO, and that might clean house as Oblivione have lost both of their supports here.
Yeah, and I'm just going down. Might trade that for enough.
Okay.
And also, Maimon looking to really change the tide of this fight.
Yeah, Mamon's still alive and picking people out. Cookie's still on this Widowmaker, still looking for the opportunity for that one-shot capability. The Echo does have the nano boost, though, and still looking to assassinate Cookie, but it's Turkey, the one to go down first. The pulse bomb comes through, and Mamon is back to spawn, but it's still Oblivione somehow holding on. 35 seconds to go, Gio. It's not looking too hot for Triple Esports.
No, it's not. It's a slobber knocker. Both teams getting casualties in this fight, but it's working for the defense because when chaos is around, Oblivion succeeds. Sky has the nano as well. Triple Esports, they don't have a lot in their arsenal in terms of ultimates coming up to this final fight, so they want to try and extend it so they can get that ultimates up. But again, EXO are just going to go in hard.
As Vestola is anti-nated up, though, they've got to get the healing, got to stay alive. Mamon gonna get that copy on to the Ana there, but one is out of the fight somehow. I just don't know, but Cookie's gonna come through with 2 headshots and finish things off as Oblivione take the map in this series as Triple Esports into Oblivion after that 3-0 sweep from Oblivione.
Like I said, they ain't afraid to full hold first point. EXO proved that perfectly. And here's Cookie, who pretty much played a massive cat-and-mouse game against the opposing Echo, this entire defense, but still able to find the value here. I mean, value's not the word. I mean, that's just tremendous play there. And sure, the X-Files might need to investigate what happened to one at the end, but nonetheless, it was an elimination. I think the scoreboard just got a little confused.
Yeah. Unless for some reason they fell off the map, which, I mean, it's possible. Yeah, exactly. It is possible, but why would they be at the edge of the map there? But who we don't know. But all we do know is Oblivione have taken that 3-0 sweep that they were desperately looking for today.
Yes, I mean that's going to look clean on their record and even cleaner for their map differential up against, any team that's trying to, be at that second place as well. Oh yeah, I'm not sure if how much these standings have updated because obviously there's still games going on. But as it currently stands, Ex Oblivione are in second place, and it isn't contested as they got those free map wins. I believe if Oh Yeah 3-0 their map though, then it will be contested again with Oh Yeah, and we'll go into tomorrow and the next round with Oh Yeah and Ex Oblivion being head and head at number 2 again. But still, Twisted Minds, it's very difficult for anyone to catch up to Twisted Minds because their roster's so stacked that they're playing so head and tails above the rest of the competition. But man, I'm so excited because I know that the Ex Oblivion Twisted Minds match is in the final round of the group stage, and I'm so excited for that match. I can't even tell you.
Is definitely going to be one to watch, but well, that there is still something to watch if you are a fan of Contenders. Obviously, besides the mainstream that is still happening, that is at the moment Team Peps versus SRP Check. But if you also want to take a look at another Timeless Broadcast Project stream, we have the Sheer Cold game still going on, and it is in map number 3. It's all tied 1-1 currently.
Yeah.
So make sure to check that out after we end things off here.
Also, if you're going to be up late in the EMEA region or you are in NA, there are still all of the NA games coming later tonight at 2 a.m. CEST or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe that is correct. I've done my maths, I've done my studying. So all the timeless broadcast projects and the official streams later. There's so much content this season of Contenders. There's almost like you could watch 4, 5, potentially. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4,
6 streams.
5, 6 streams at once in NA later today, including the official stream, which is nuts. And yeah, as you can see, the Sheer Cold stream, sorry, the Timeless broadcast, is still going on as O4 Dash potentially getting their first win.
That is something to go look forward to. But other than that, Gio, I don't think we have much more to say here for this matchup or for this Ex Oblivione stream. But thank you all for watching. And wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful rest of your night.